A lot of people believe that the body's main source of energy comes from protein. Definitely, protein is a very important nutrient for the body, but then it is not the thing which gives us energy. The main source of energy that the body gets from is from carbohydrates. So let me just explain the process of what happens, how the energy is stored in the body, then the body uses it. So when you consume carbohydrates, it converts into a certain chemical within the body called glycogen. And whenever you do certain activities throughout the day or you're doing workouts, that glycogen is released into the body, and then it gives you the sufficient energy to perform a certain task or activity. What happens when you don't really have carbohydrates or glycogen, or you're done with that? Then the body starts using the fat that is there in the body. We are very obsessed having protein throughout the day that we ignore carbohydrates and fats. And as a result, when the body needs some sort of glycogen or fats to perform certain tasks, it goes in search inside the body to search them, and it doesn't really find even the 1% of the total required amount in the body, and you end up feeling really weak. You might have a brain fog. I'm not saying you should have a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of fat, but then at least the sufficient amount that is required to do a lot of things, do sufficient workout. You should be consuming that amount of carbohydrates and fats throughout the day. I'm not going to deny that protein is not important. Protein is definitely a very important nutrient in the body, but then we have to find a balance between the three macronutrients, which is protein, fats, and carbohydrates. The day we balance out these three nutrients throughout very well, uh, we would really have a very better efficient body when compared to others. Sometimes as individuals we might not have good sufficient knowledge how much we should be having, or how do we consume, what is the first meal, what are the portions we should be eating in that case, I would advise you to go consult a doctor or a nutritionist to help you out. And the amount of protein, carbohydrates, fats you eat will vary from the kind of body composition that you have, the kind of goals you want to achieve, the kind of body you want to have, and the kind of activities that you do throughout the day. All these factors actually decide of how much of protein you should be having, how much of fats, how much of carbohydrates you should be having. Carbohydrates and fats are not the enemies of your body, but of course if you're having it in excess, then your body requires, you cannot lose weight. If you want to lose weight, protein is important, but at the same time you should also be consuming a lot of carbohydrates and fats. We live in a world where people actually overhype the protein intake and actually talk in a way where carbohydrates and fats actually are the enemies to your body. See, one thing is for sure, if you're having anything in excess or doing anything in excess, it definitely harms your body. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the enough required amount of carbohydrates and fats. Even compare, there was this report that happened, or research that happened some time ago, and the report was that people who consume enough carbohydrates and fats alongside sufficient protein have a much healthier body, much better body when compared to people who only mainly focus on protein. So it is very important we understand and have a balance between these three nutrients and eat properly and stop believing the wrong set of influences around us that we find on social media. If you like this content, please do like, subscribe, and share, and drop down your comments about what you want to know next.